Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I have got to run because I'm almost going to be late for work, but I'm on the first day of starting as a Neonatal SHO. I've just done 6 months of paediatrics and now I'm starting 6 months of neonates. I'm excited, nervous, we'll see how we go. Today I'm on Postmates, so I'll be doing baby checks and sorting out any issues that the midwives have with any of the newborn babies, but I will catch you later because I do need to go. See you soon. Today has been busy. It's not taxing, it's just so much to do. I'm finally just having some lunch, having a coffee and a panini. I've just done a lot of baby checks, got lots of cute babies. It's the end of the day and wow, it has been so busy. I'm so frazzled, it's almost 6:30. I was meant to finish at 5, but you know, first day, so it's gonna be busy. Just felt quite overwhelmed, there's so much to do. At one point I nearly cried because I lost my card and I was just like tipped over the edge almost, but no, I'm completely fine. Just felt a bit overwhelmed. But I will talk you through everything later tonight because I have to head home now. I'm doing a talk with Future Frontline and I'm going to be late. So that's the theme of the day. Right guys, I'm home. I've made a cup of tea, which I don't normally do like in the evening because I think I'm quite sensitive to caffeine, but I feel like I need it today just as like a bit of a wind down. I'm just going to log on to the Future Frontline call and then I'm going to sit down and catch you up on the day. I'm really sorry if this vlog is really bitty because it is, because today's been all over the place. I'm out of breath just because I ran downstairs and ran back up. Oh dear.
Emphasize everything is free of charge and we definitely are trying to widen participation into healthcare. Lovely doctors for joining us today. I know Radhika has just finished a really long shift and Cara hopefully is here somewhere.
Look guys, there are 146 people on the chat.
Andy. So Radhika, would you like to introduce yourself please?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Radhika, that's me on the left. You may know me from my Instagram, which is @Dr. Radhika, which I think quite a few of you from here, I can see familiar names. I'm a paediatric doctor, so yeah, of course. So I can't remember what my answer was back when I applied, which was about 8 years ago now. But I absolutely love being a doctor. I love that you have daily challenges and you really are making a difference to people's lives. Sometimes it's very small, sometimes it's big, but each small thing you do is really appreciated. And I really love that feeling when a patient or a parent is like, thank you so much for what you've done or for the advice you've given me. Right, my dear YouTube friends, it is the evening and I can finally sit down and tell you about my day. This is the busiest day I've had in a very, very long time and I cannot believe I decided to vlog it as well, but I committed to it and I'm going to put this video together and post it, even though it may not be as good of a vlog as I wanted it to be. But I do just want to sit down and talk about neonates, talk about my day, talk about how I feel. Yeah, been a bit of a mad day. Just feeling a little bit frazzled. But it's okay because it's nearly bedtime and I really like doing things like talking to a camera. So that's what I'm going to do to chill out a little bit. I've even put my fairy lights on for you and you have my plants. What a nice vibe. Right, so let's talk about neonates. So neonates is essentially any newborn baby up to 4 weeks old, so 28 days. So now I'm on neonates, I will either be working on the neonatal intensive care unit where there are generally more unwell babies, more likely to be premature, and they may have other complications of being premature and are having feeds to gain weight and to be safe enough to go home. So that's in the neonatal intensive care unit. And then other days I'll be working on postnates. So postnates is more well babies, generally born at term, but they may have other issues like they might have some jaundice that needs treatment. They may have infections that need antibiotics and investigations. And I'll also be doing baby checks on the newborn babies. So every baby that's born in England needs to have a baby check within the first 72 hours of life. And most of the time those happen in the hospital. So I will be doing baby checks on the babies, as well as reviewing the babies on treatment for other things. So that is essentially what I'll be doing for the next 6 months. I spent the last 6 months doing general paediatrics, which basically covers a baby after it's been discharged from hospital up to 16 or 18 if they're in full-time education. And I'll be spending the next 6 months doing neonates, which is newborn babies, pretty much, to make it really simple for you. So today I had a shift on Postmates, and it was my first ever shift on Postmates, and everybody tells you that Postmates can be really, really busy and really tricky, and there's a lot to do, and you're constantly being bleeped by midwives about different things. And I was a bit anxious about today. I knew what to expect, but I was just stressed about the minutiae of doing everything, the practicalities, like how I document things, where I go, what I do, where things are kept. It's always hard starting a new job, and that's part of medicine. We rotate very frequently, and we frequently have to start new jobs. And it's always hard because you need to learn how the system works, you need to learn how the teams work, you need to learn how to communicate with people, how to do things like referrals, even little things like what printer does this document print out of when I press print, or how do I request this, or where do I send this to? Like, there's so much you need to think about and learn every time you start a new job. And then for me today, I had that pressure, but also the pressure of doing Postmates, which in itself is a really tricky job. And my job today, like I mentioned, was essentially reviewing any babies that were on antibiotics, reviewing any babies that were being treated for jaundice, doing baby checks on newborn babies, and then also sorting out any other issues that the midwives had with any of the babies, and reviewing any babies that they had concerns about that they wanted me to see. So I had a real treat this morning because I was a bit anxious, quite anxious about my shift. And then one of the consultants messaged me in the morning saying, "Hey Radhika, I know you're on Postmates today. I'm actually trying to help the new doctors with their Postmates shift as it can be so difficult. So I'm going to spend the morning with you, just showing you around and helping you get to grips with it." And I was literally like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This consultant, she was meant to have a day of admin, she was meant to have a day of doing her clinic work, and she literally spent half her day with me going around, making sure I was comfortable with how things worked, making sure I was comfortable with the babies and knowing exactly what I was doing. And like, that was just amazing. And this is what's so beautiful about pediatrics. The seniors are so supportive, to the point where she's literally used a day of her time to do other work to come and help me. And she'd already done this another day this week for another junior. And it was basically because generally people say that Postmates is so hard and that often we don't know what we're doing, and it's such a baptism of fire where there's so much to learn and so much to do, that she was like, let me give some time to the new juniors and try and show them around and show them exactly what to do. So I was so grateful for that, and it really helped me this morning. So I spent the morning with her, and I think we saw about, I can't remember, I think 8 to 10 babies who, again, like I've said, mostly were on antibiotics and needed review. Some of them had jaundice, and then we did some baby checks together as well. In the afternoon, I was more on my own, and I did some more baby checks. The thing is, I really enjoy the baby checks, but there's so much documentation that you have to do for them. It makes it a really long process. I love the bit where you actually get to see the baby, you get to examine the baby, you get to speak to the parents. Those minutes are really nice. But all the other bits around it and all the documentation and making sure you've printed everything and done everything right, that is what the laborious bit about it is, and that's what takes so long. So I think in total today I saw 15 to 20 babies. I really can't remember. I think I did about 10 baby checks and about 10 reviews between myself and the consultant. I would say I saw 15 to 20, but I really don't know. The day was going well, but then I was getting to the evening and I started getting a bit more stressed out about how much I still had to do. I was still doing baby checks, but I still had to like chase results and sort out things from the morning. And then what ended up happening is I got to, like, it was like 5:30, and my shift was meant to finish at 5, and I knew I had to leave because I was doing this event at 7, and I got to 5:30, and then I'd travelled to like the other side of the hospital to do some baby checks, and then I'd come back to the main bit where I work, and I couldn't find my card that I need for the computer. And you literally can't be a doctor without your card. Like, you can't prescribe, you can't look at results, there's so much you can't do. So I then I had a little bit of a wobble where I basically just felt quite overwhelmed, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do, I can't find my card, what am I going to do? I'm such a rubbish doctor. And I had a bit of a breakdown. And then I messaged my friend who had done neonates before but is now in pediatrics, and she ended up phoning me and was just like, Radhika, it's fine, everybody feels like this on their first shift of Postmates, it's fine, you'll be okay. And I don't know, I just had a bit of a wobble. One of my other consultants was there and he was like, Radhika, are you okay? Like, is there anything I can do to help you? And I was just like, no, I just need to find my card. So I went on a whole long trek around the hospital and found my card literally on the floor in a corridor. I was so glad I found it, because it would have been such a faff to get a new one made and I wouldn't have been able to do everything I needed to do. So I ended up sorting out my last bits and bobs, and my wobble of my emotional wobble ended. And then yeah, so I finished my shift. I had to update the list, I chased some blood results, and then there were a few things that I needed the evening team to do, like chase some results and potentially discharge babies if their results were okay. There's a doctor that's on from 8 to 8:30 in the evening, so I hand over anything that the evening team or night team need to do to her. And actually then another thing happened because she had to go to a delivery, and I was like, what do? I need to hand over, but she's gone to a delivery. So I ended up just writing her a detailed list so that she could read it, because I couldn't wait any longer, otherwise I would have been late for the Future Frontline event. That was my day. I did so many steps. Oh my gosh, I think I've done like 6,000 steps today, which normally when I'm at work I do like 2,000 or 3,000 steps, because there's just so much to do and so much going from here and there, even like going to the printer, going back to the bit where all my stuff is, going to the baby, going to the other ward that's on the other side of the hospital where some babies are. Like there's just so much toing and froing that you end up doing loads of steps, and my feet do kill. I didn't get much time for lunch. I had that quick panini and coffee that I showed you. Yeah, I was planning to sit down at lunch in my break and properly talk through things with you, but I literally scoffed my panini down and went back to doing the jobs I needed to do. It was a really interesting day. Everyone says the first day of Postmates is the hardest. And I've done it. I found it quite hard in the afternoon, but I survived, and reflecting on it, it was a really good day. I felt like I'd got a lot done and I'd achieved a lot. And yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Let me know if you guys have any questions about Postmates. I feel like I've just rambled. I think that's everything I have to say about today. Obviously, I then came home and I went straight onto this Future Frontline event, which was really good. And I'm so impressed with Tasha and Nikita for organising it, because it was such a huge event. There were 180 people at one point. And unfortunately, there was like a hacker, not a hacker, but someone on the chat was removing people from the chat and muting some of the speakers, which was really nasty of them. But I think the event went really well and they did a really good job. You should follow Future Frontline on Instagram if you're thinking about going into the healthcare field but you don't know what you want to apply to yet. But yeah, the event was really successful. I'm very impressed with what they managed to achieve. And yeah, now I'm gonna probably have some dinner and really chill out and go to sleep early so that I can be ready to go tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed and have a really lovely day. I will see you in my next video. Bye.